instead of trying to dogmatically apply one ideology, one pure way, it's, you know, kind of a pragmatic approach. How do we break our area free and make it better with socialist methods? And that is really, I think that's the way we need to approach things. That's the way, you know, the Bolivarians are approaching things, right? The Bolivarianism is not Trotskyism, not ML, it's Bolivarianism, right?
There's so much to learn from the South right now on this, like with the pink wave going on. It's really inspiring to see. And also to the Reed Settlers crowd is the colonial conditions that came to bring about these countries in South America are like the same as you know, America, Canada. And it's funny because a lot of people they assume there's this American exceptionalism around the settlers narrative where like that was throughout the continents we call the Americas, yet you're seeing leftist groups in Latin America break through, form multiracial coalitions, and really bring it. And there's a lot of defeatist people that just think it can't happen here, but it's happening to the south of us, and we need to learn from these examples.
What is Mao Zedong thought? What is it? It is a kind of communism that would work in China. And, you know, it was different than what a lot of the other communist parties in the world were doing at the time. You know, the Chinese Communist Party, first it made a strategic alliance with the KMT, and then it went into the countryside and organized the peasantry. And then it formed an anti-Japanese coalition and then eventually established socialism in China. It was a kind of socialist, Marxist, Leninist thought that worked in China and was unique. And that's what Mao Zedong thought is, right? You know, I mean, you can say the same about Castro's theories. You can, I mean, that socialism everywhere, you know, it is uniquely applied to the conditions of the country that it's in. And that's what socialism with American characteristics. I'm urging American leftists to not think that when we have a revolution here, it'll be that we've convinced enough people to LARP for Juche. We eventually establish a Juche government in Washington, D.C. Never happen. I mean, never say never, right? But I really think the chances of us adopting the Juche ideology is very slim.
Which is made for Korean people.
What's that?
Which is made for Korean people.
Exactly. And it's great in Korea. You know what I mean? I'm not bashing it. It's just, it's not going to take hold over here. And that I'm basically, by saying socialism with American characteristics, I'm challenging American Marxists to start thinking like they can win, right? We're back to this whole thing about a commodified identity. And that's a lot of what online leftism is that, you know, it's that people, they want an identity. They want to be able to say, I am this, and, you know, and they want something they can kind of, you know, give their identity to. But if you actually want to win, if you actually want to actually see socialism come into being, it's something different. And I'm challenging people to get beyond the commodified identity and actually start thinking of a program, you know, that could actually take power and could actually be implemented. That's what I'm challenging people to do. And that's why I'm saying socialism with American characteristics. I said this in a video before, and I'll say it again, and people hate hearing this, but socialists, we need to stop being incels, okay? An incel, right, is a man who feels like, you know, he's victimized because he cannot have sex with women. And he takes, you know, this fact that he is not having sex with women and he blows it up into a whole ideology. He can never have sex with women, right? It's not possible. And it's because of this vast problem with women. And it's just, no, you know, I mean, that's not reality. And that's the way a lot of communists in the United States think. They think we could never possibly take over. So they invent all kinds of third worldist settler reasons we could never possibly actually win. And they develop this whole ideology and worldview and identity surrounding the fact that we could never actually win. Well, don't do that. Don't do that. It's called catastrophizing when you do that, right? When you take a current situation, which, yes, are we going to win right now? No, we're not going to take power anytime soon. But you're catastrophizing. Based on how bad things are now for American leftists, you're assuming we could never take power. So based on that, your orientation, the way you view the world, the way you view yourself, is all based on this we could never possibly win orientation. Get beyond that. I believe we could win. And so if we could actually win, we have to start operating on the basis that we could actually win. And that's a different mode of thinking. You know, we got to get out of the incel mode and actually operate on the basis that someday we are going to win, because we are going to win. Look, I mean, America will go socialist. I mean, that or humanity ends with nuclear war. But I tend to think eventually we will have socialism in the United States. But if we're going to do that, we have to actually think about what it could actually look like, not just operate on the assumption that we can never win. So socialists, stop thinking like incels and start thinking like you can actually win.
Caleb dropping some Chad energy. That is going to be the best